Hello fellow plantophiles. So in this video I'm going to give you guys a plant profile on a Philodendron Prince of Orange. So let me pull it out. So I have this. So I had purchased this planter at an estate sale, and I have a video where I cleaned it up and I had a different pot in there. But my parents said, no, you don't want to plant anything in that pot, you want something nicer. So I got this turquoise colored pot yesterday, and the lady said she's going to give me a liner to put inside, and I saw that she charged me for it. So, you know, bad choice of terms using give, because anyway. But it's a nice deep one, so I could actually pot this in here to go in there. But if you look at the Philodendron Prince of Orange, it has nice orange leaves that transfer to a, you know, like a peachier color, and then as they age to a greener color. And it just looks really beautiful, and the shape of this planter, it reminds me of those old sconces that came off the walls back like 300 years ago that would basically be like the equivalent of street lighting back then. And that's one thing why I wanted something fiery for this planter. So just a little bit of background information on the Prince of Orange. It is a hybrid variety. You know, there are like 489 different species of philodendron. So this is a hybrid between two different species, which nobody knows what they are. It was patented back in 1989, you know, with patent or plant breeders' rights. But even though we don't know what the two original types were. So it could be a hybrid of one hybrid and one purebred, or two different hybrid varieties, who knows. Anyway, it basically, you know, it grows up between 2 to 4 feet tall. As I try to research, giving you guys a plant profile, it's essentially different websites said different things, but it seemed like more websites claimed 2 feet, so maybe under really good conditions, 4 feet. So we're going to say about a meter tall, if you want to be more, you know, specific, because the meter's around 3-point-something feet. So about, not quite a meter. But anyway, just to give you a quick background on philodendrons in general, they're a tropical species that originates between Mexico and Brazil. And you have two varieties called the climbing varieties and the non-climbing or self-heading. This is a self-heading variety, and what self-heading means is it creates new plantlets along the bottom versus climbing, where if you have a climbing variety, you would take cuttings of the vine to grow and propagate. And these are hardy in USDA zones 9B and 10. And they're also, philodendrons are epiphytic in nature, so you can actually plant them on trees. Now, as far as care goes, they like a temperature between 60 to 65 degrees Fahrenheit minimum, which is equivalent to 16 degrees to 18 degrees Celsius minimum, and as warm as 75 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit or 24 to 27 degrees Celsius. And they can go down to about 52 degrees, but they don't really like it too cold because, after all, they are a tropical plant. And while they do really well in high humidities, they can actually still do good in a drier condition like inside your home. They love intense, bright light. But when I say intense, I don't mean direct sunlight. They can do morning or evening sun, but if you place it under direct sun during the middle of the day, it's not only going to burn the leaves in a heartbeat, because these leaves are kind of thin, but it's also, you know, they're not paper thin or tissue paper, but they are fairly thin compared to like a succulent style leaf. But also the central growing region can burn, and then it will take months for the plant to recover after something like that. So keep in mind, you don't want these under bright direct sunlight, but you want them under bright diffuse lighting. Now you can grow them in a well-draining potting mix that is high in organic stuff. So you don't want to put too many inorganic compounds in there like rocks or things. I mean, since they grow on trees, they like the organic mix, but they want something well-draining and airy, since growing on trees, they get wet from the rains and then drain readily. And as far as fertilization goes, you do not want to use a chemical fertilizer. They prefer an organic-based fertilizer. So you want bright light, humidity, and fertilization. And as far as potability goes, these are toxic to humans and dogs and cats, or if you're like Radar O'Reilly and say animals are people too, then just humans, and that covers dogs and cats as well. And the reason why these are toxic is because they contain calcium oxalate, and that is something that's toxic for us to ingest. And if you overwater or underwater, the leaves are going to start turning a little yellowy. Now, I did touch up a little bit on the propagation, and I did mention you don't take cuttings from vines, but as the rhizome produces new plantlets, you can eventually break those off. And that's all there is to the Philodendron Prince of Orange. Now, before we close, please make sure that you hit that subscribe button to keep privy on a lot more plant videos. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching.